This is Short Hammer. It is the 29th of August, 2021. And this is Trading Zones. I'm recording this video while holding my son, the youngest. And upstairs, the other children, I believe, are having a Stomp Olympics. So we'll see who wins that one. But diving into the market, taking a peek at the MNQ, and we're at all-time highs. And you've got to love it, right? Because the main, I'll say the main news catalyst of the week was Jackson Hole. And what would the Fed say coming out of that meeting that could potentially tank the market? And everyone was expecting there to be, significant conversations around taper, but the Fed seemed to take a very cautious approach and seemed to signal, or from the market's interpretation, that there'd be nothing happening this year, or at least nothing until maybe the end of the year, maybe December. So that, it was almost like a dovish statement from Powell, dovish statements coming out of Jackson Hole that kind of signaled that, hey, there will be no adjustments as far as interest rates or things of that nature that could negatively impact the market, at least in the short term. And we can see that reflected in the movement of the MNQs, right? And whatever else that you happen to be trading right now, a lot of things are moving on up. So if I'm watching this, what I want to see is continued I'll say separation from this 15383 area. I want to see bullish candles. This is a beautiful candle here, right? And so we were having a little bit of I'll say turbulence below the 15191. And so each time we went up there, we're coming back down. I wouldn't say that. I say right, what's this area here? 15134. That's the area, right? And you're just seeing the inability to get bullish above that numerous times until here. And this was on the 23rd of August. And on that day, the market made a decision that we're going to go. And we got a gap, almost like a jam through that area. And then the next candle. And when you see those candles, usually, in my opinion, like when I see that, that's the market telling the sellers, get out. And that's all this sellers short squeezing, getting knocked out and stops being blown. Like that's the market telling the sellers, get out. And even on the retracement here, right? The retracement is not even the complete length of the candle to take us back to this break point, right? Right around the 15190s. We're not going back to that. So the market curved above that. And then we have another candle. And so when you see that, there is a strong decision made. Look at these candles made by the market to the upside. So what do? We look for our plays within that. So for me, I'm not just going to jump into this. I'll be waiting for a pullback of some sort that gives me good risk to reward, meaning that I'm in at a level where I can have a stop not too far below, and the risk isn't too much and the reward is greater. And so that's what I'm waiting for on the MNQs. We're going to get into some of the other tickers like Amazon and Facebook and Apple, and just see how where they are right now in the midst of all this market movement. Why aren't they at all-time highs, right? And so I think that's really interesting to note. So moving on, but let me give you these levels. But looking at this candle structure, I would look for us to hold above the 15338s, right? So anything in this little cluster here, I look to hold above that, and see if we get a push. If we drop and we gap down, I would watch this previous bottom here, right around 15257-ish. This area where we pulled back to, the buyer stepped in and gave us some almost like a curved higher lows setup here, and then gave us this big candle. So we'll see if the buying strength continues. But as of right now, I would say the tilt in the market is bullish. Let me reach across. A lot more difficult with one arm. MES, same type of setup. Look at this. Looks very similar. Looks like we're ready to go. As long as we hold above this consolidation here, the 4470s, we're gonna go. And I'll be watching to see how that plays out next week. I won't be playing the MES necessarily, but I'll be watching to see how this plays out next week, because this is an interesting setup. Looks quite bullish. We'll see if this continues to the upside. But usually stronger tickers tend to get stronger and weaker tickers tend to get weaker. Now, if something is getting weaker and it's pulling back into a consolidation point or into a demand area, then you look for a reversal at the demand area, right? So this is not doing that. This is just pushing highs. Lots of strength here. Let's see what we get this upcoming week, having gone through Jackson Hole and there not being any negative news from that, or any news that could weigh the market down, it seems. We have to see if the market gets a little bit more excitable, because of the lack of negative news at the moment, even with COVID going on, even with inflation fears and all those different types of things. um, the market seems to have found a way to look at whatever the potential risks may be or the headwinds may be, and really just ignore them, at least right now. That's what we see. RTY, beautiful. This is what you want to see. So remember, we're saying we got to get bullish above these tops here, right around the 2247s, through the 2250s. We're the 2270s. My expectation is that we continue to go up to the 2290s. So I'll be watching for that. And so if that's the case, right, that means we need financials to push and we need small caps to push. And so I'll be keeping an eye on financials to see if we see that same strength from tickers like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, just all the different credit unions, different banks that make up the Russ. Let's see if we get a little bit of a squeeze this week, because this setup right here is absolute breakout. So we'll see. But definitely love this, and I'm thinking we're going to see 2290s. We have to wait to see. Maybe higher, but I'm watching the 2290s as a first stop. And if not, if we just retrace from there, I'll watch to see if there are buyers that step in at the 2247 by 2252 area. I'll be waiting to see if the buyers step in there. That's if we see any amount of retracement. Okay, let's keep it moving. Amazon. So in our one of our previous videos, what we mentioned was we expected, or we were looking to see what Amazon did when it fell into this channel, the 3220s by 30. Is it? I think it's 3080 is the bottom of that. I could be wrong. Yeah, 3080 right here. 3085 by 3220s. And out of that area, we're seeing buyers step in and we push back up. So um the expectation on Amazon is we have to see what happens around these 3380s, right? 3386-ish. Let's look to the left. To the left, we'll see that, previous times that we've reached that area, the buyers haven't been strong enough to get us above that area. The sellers have sort of been in place or been in power here. So we really need a clear break of the 3380s before I would be interested in any long positions on Amazon. And so I'll wait to see how that plays out. But with the Qs going, there is positive momentum. Let's see if we get positive drift or push. But we definitely need to clear the 3380s. And the next level above that is 34 to 33. Someone may have some levels in here, but that's sort of what I'm watching. We'll see. But it does look strong, but we'll see. Just Amazon has so much in the chamber when it comes to just everything, whether it's movies, whether it's sales, whether it's building just so much. I'll keep it moving. I'll never get into Amazon soliloquy. So looking at Netflix, Netflix is pushing towards the top. Now, Netflix has been here before, right? Let's sort of zoom out on this so we can see this chart. So the range on Netflix that we've mentioned before is the 470s all the way up through the 550s, right? And kind of a push near the 560s as possible too. But each time it's gotten up there, we haven't seen bullish continuation, and we see this all the way back down. So that's the attitude of Netflix, right? And so when something has that type of an attitude, I'd say the way that it moves, really temperamental. You got to be careful. Um, Now, if we get above 600, I'll be long, but below that, um, no, we'll see. We need to get above 567.47 first and 575. So once we get above that area, then we might see a little bit of an extension up here in the 590s to get above the 600s. But for now, we're not there. We're still within the areas that we've gone. So we're not above the previous high waves. Okay. All right. I thought I heard something there. But we need to see that separation to the upside. So we'll see what sort of happens as we push up into that area. But it's already a nice run if you look at this. And we are above this area here, the smaller channel, the 515, yeah, about 502.53. Yep. So we're above that area, and you see that all these pullbacks have been bought up to keep us from breaking the bottom of that channel. And then look at this push. So Netflix is definitely interesting. Let's see if it continues to remain strong. But I still am not sure or certain how they're going to increase their subscriber base legally. Like I'm watching some saying what can they do other than potentially raise prices on the current customers to be able to find more eyeballs. I know we mentioned acquisition before. I mean, they could acquire a company, but it just seems that right now, when it comes to streaming, it just seems so. I don't know if it's democratized, but that may not be the word. But it seems as if there's so much competition that if you were to ask me, does Netflix provide a better streaming service than Disney? I'd say no, because of the variety that Disney offers. So if you're thinking about Netflix, right, and you say, oh, this is going to go to 700, you have to think about the competition, all the companies they're competing with. And I'm sure Disney has something coming down the pipe with that acquisition of, I believe it's Metro Goldwyn. I think it's Metro Goldwyn. Is it Paramount? I have to check. But either way, you know, everyone's sort of tossing their hat in the ring when it comes to streaming. And I don't see where Netflix has done anything that's so innovative that no one can catch up. So we'll see how it plays out. Didn't really want to go on that long rant about it, but that's one of the reasons for not being yeah, multi-day with that. Okay, so we'll see. But you have the levels here to watch. And if we see a pullback here, we want to hold the 550 70s. Below that, the 542s, 535s, 529s. If you're back here around the 5 teens, it can go, but I'm doubtful that it would go immediately because it's all about time frames, right? We want these things to happen in like a week or so. We don't want 3 weeks from now, a month and a half from now. We want these things to happen fast. So that's all that we have there. So cool. We'll see. We'll see with Netflix. We'll see. Acquisition of some sort or merge, just to get whatever gets them more access to eyeballs, I think is and also finding a way to charge a little bit more for their services would help too. Alrighty. So Nvidia is off to the races ever since it had earnings. We're on this push up. Also, what's going on in the chip market with cars is pretty good for companies like Nvidia. What's going on with crypto is pretty good for a company like Nvidia. So a lot of these tech tech or chip companies are really going to benefit from what's going on right now. And as far as the infra, as far as the infrastructure, no, I don't. Well, it's like the infrastructure bill kind of affects everything and impacts everything, but it does it in a different way. And so many things, it's like sort of an indirect impact, right? And I think for NVIDIA, there will be an impact, but there may be an indirect impact. Um, because yeah. All right. So NVIDIA is interesting. Let's see if we keep going higher. The next level we have on NVIDIA is 230.85 and 238.16 and 242.12. To the downside, we have 221, 217, and oh, okay. Let me keep going, reading some stuff. All right. So we'll see. So I'm watching these levels. If we pull back, I'll watch the 221.50, see if the buyers step in. If we pull back below that, I'll be watching the 217s. And if we're below that, I'm kind of going to just watch and probably not be playing unless I see something in the market that gives me some sort of an edge on this. But that's sort of what we're thinking on Nvidia. We'll see how that plays out. Next up is Apple. Now, Apple's interesting. It's almost as if it's just been going sideways and consolidating. So whenever it makes the move, it's going to be a nice move. But yeah, not quite. Yeah. Yes. All right. So I want to see Apple break above the 149.90s. That's what I would like to see. I do think that those numbers are going to be a little bit better or pretty good this quarter, but we'll see. Right. So what I'm watching for is a clear break of the 149.90s and then bullish extension above, meaning something that looks like, let's see, this, right? We broke above, pull back, broke above. So we'll see if we get the same plane here. We'll see. Let's keep it moving. Microsoft. It's it's fascinating to try to do this while not try. It's fascinating to do this while holding a baby because just every twist is really interesting. Got to really be mindful of that, right? So here's Microsoft, and we're pulling down a little bit. Let's see if the buyer step in and give us a walk back up. Um, just been strong, been a beast, and 300, that was the expectation. Let's see if we go above that and move a little bit higher. Um, um, let's see. Yeah, those levels I want. Break of 302, pushing the 305.80s. If we dip 294.86, 291. So yeah, we shall see how that shakes out with Microsoft. Let's keep it going. All right, Facebook. So Facebook, we're testing again those all-time highs, I believe. Yeah. Um, and so we have to see what happens if we get buying through here, if we get a gap through here, if we hit this area and we sell, then that may be a bad sign as far as upward movement, as far as this week or the early part of the week. There's always a chance that something could happen, it can break, but we'll see. But definitely watching this is a very interesting pattern here. I'll see what we do at reset and if we sort of buy up a little bit of that. But yes, but watch Facebook at these levels. You can see the pullback here to 350. This one was roughly about 350 to below the area is 354. And okay. Interesting there. Okay. Let me keep moving. All right. Intel. Now, Intel was just tanking. And now we sort of see a little bit of sign, a little bit, I'll say signs of life, right? So what I want to see personally is break over 54.45 and then an extension into the 55.70s or higher. Um, there's yeah, there's just a lack of clarity as to what they do, and um, yeah, I'm just wondering if it's gonna get over here quickly or not. But I'll watch for that. I'll set an alert on this 554.45, and if it breaks here and we're bullish above, I'll be long on the 55.71 because I think this is interesting. Intel's a chip company, also. I'm not sure. I'll have to really dig in and figure out why they're not getting the same type of energy and perspective as what China's getting. So, I mean, but my fault, not China. I mean, NVIDIA is getting, right. NVIDIA, pardon me. I was thinking about China at the moment, but the same type of love that NVIDIA is getting, right. And I know they're very different companies, but just from a chip standpoint, just wondering where the excitement is around the chips that Intel provides. And maybe they're one of the few companies that's not involved in the shortage right now. And they don't really see a significant move in their underlying. Not sure. But I still think this is interesting. I like sort of this buyback up here and then this pullback around the 53.30s and then this push back up again. I'd like to see it break at the 54.40s. And then this might provide a really good play into the 55.71 as I just previously mentioned there. So we're going to keep this moving on to the next one. After Intel, let's go to DONALDS. So looking at McDonald's, interesting. I'd like to see this back up to 243, 244, but don't know if that's going to be the case. Nice pullback. Uh, I'll wait to see how this moves because what could be cool about McDonald's, right, is the potential to sell premium above this 240 area. So the potential to sell the 243 or 244 might be interesting. And to the downside, the yeah, the maybe if we I don't know if we'd see anything below this 230s, if there'd be any value there on that on the options as far as selling premium. But I have to wait to see. So I have to see how this goes. I want to see how McDonald's goes in the beginning of the week. And based on that will be my determining factor if I'm gonna play it or not. So I don't have like a hard thing that I'm looking for. Or if you know you do this thing, then the gift is X, right? So let's see. Because I want my gift to be that I sell some premium outside of the money and it just goes sideways for the week, and that bad boy expires worthless. That would be my gift. But just want to see how this plays out because they could easily um push this, make a higher high here, and squeeze in the 243.70s. So I really want to keep an eye on McDonald's to see. I want to see that setup, see what happens, if it's going to stay within the channel, if it's going to drift back to the bottom of the channel, or if we're going to break back up to the top. CMG's just been strong. Um, Me personally, whenever CMG gets small candles, it's about to make a big move, and up or down, right? No one really knows. So for me, I'm just not touching CMG right now, and I would love a pullback. If we pull back to 1905, that's an area like a soft area. A harder area is the 1840s, but we'll see how this plays out. I'm not in any trades on Nvidia currently, and I just want to see how this one shakes out. As far as these levels, if we're going to go higher, it appears if we might be going to drift a little bit lower, but let's see. And peek at JP Morgan, and we're back up in these areas. Beautiful thing. Back up over 156.78, 161.60, and we are squeezing. That's a good picture. Yeah, let's see. So what would be great is if we sort of buy back up into this 146 202 area. Okay. We shall see. But that's what I'm watching for JPM. Let's see if we see the extension. If we hold the 161 60s, that does open up to me the 164.90s and then the 167s, and then the sky's the limit. So we'll see how that plays out. Always the financials. Goldman Sachs the same, breaking out, making all-time highs. Always the financials. Look over the last 1 to 2 years, and what's been driving the market has been the financials, not tech, not any other sector as much as financials. Financials has really, really driven the market. But and it's doing it again. So watch these levels: 418.70, 414.90s, 410.69, 404.62, and 402.18. On Goldman Sachs. Very interesting. Okay, let's take a peek at Tesla. Now, Tesla, that's not Tesla. TSL. You're not Tesla. You're Tesla. Okay, so Tesla is back up here on the 713s. So let me tell you what I'm thinking. I think Tesla's going to 784, right? And just me talking because I have lips. So I'm watching this and I'm going to see if we get bullish above and we can squeeze into the 780s. If not, look for a negative drift to 651s, at which point it may give us an opportunity to take a long position. But Tesla's looking great. And I want to see if we push above this area and if we continue to go. Yep, no complaints here. This is great. So I'll see how Tesla works out with this one, but I'll be watching those levels to see how it plays out. And the SPY, all-time high. Everything is just about all-time highs. Looking so bullish, like it may, take the next big step. And being that the Fed is basically saying that they're stepping out of the way, they're not getting in the way of progress. It's kind of what the Fed has said, and we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I think that the market is making inflation seem trivial because the market doesn't seem to be pricing that in. It's making the pandemic and what's going on with the Delta variant also seem trivial because it's like it seems as if no matter what the news comes out, the market has decided it's going to go up. So definitely be careful with your trades. If you like this video, please tap the like button. If you like more video like these, please subscribe to Power of Pivots, where you can look forward to hearing from me, but also hearing from Elisa as she shows how she utilizes her Power of Pivot strategy in the script to find great pre-market, intraday, and post-market entries on all types of stocks and things of that nature. But thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful week of trading.